2, 1. From Boston, Massachusetts to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between. Talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
Well.
It's been far too long.
It has been way too long.
It's been probably over a month.
It's been over a month, no question about it. We talked about doing a show 2 weeks ago, and I had it all written up, and baseball got in the way, which it's expected.
Yeah,
as we move along in the summer months,
it definitely is. It's 1 minute you're playing one place, another minute you're playing somewhere else, and it just it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually kind of missed it.
Oh yeah, so have I.
I mean, and we missed a lot of good topics to talk about, but going forward, the season is starting to die down. Like we have a total of 4 tournaments left between 2 boys, so each kid's got 2 tournaments, and then after that, we're we head into tryout season, and then
it's football.
Football. They don't play football, but let's just say
football in here.
Yeah, let's just say it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to be fun. I tell you right now.
Yeah, we'll get back to our regular schedule the closer to the end of the summer into fall. We're looking to go at least twice a week. But
we cannot rule out that also the other challenge that the summer presents is boat time.
Oh, no doubt. It's the other B.
Yeah, boat time is normally it's there.
Yep.
You've been out
as you can see my nose, I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You look like a raccoon, dude.
Yeah, I got some redness going on.
But no, I mean it's been it's not like it's been disappointing or reasons that we just haven't wanted to do anything. It's just time just gets in the way, and by the time we sit down, and there's been times where we've written up some show notes and had a lot of things that we really wanted to talk about. It kind of just got derailed. We wanted to go this past weekend. Obviously, it was a holiday weekend. It was a little tough, but
hot too.
Oh God, it was miserable.
We might have
you walk out the door, swamp ass.
Oh, and it would have been brutal. We might have had to take the Easy Speak indoors in the house of some air conditioning if we would have went over the weekend. But
oh yeah, like today, it rained a little bit this afternoon. Had a nice little storm roll through, but it cooled it down. So it's probably about 75 out.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible. It's muggy, but
it's manageable. We got some fans going in here. So
speaking of fans, I'm a fan of these Tigers.
They're playing good baseball.
Yeah.
I was watching the game today. They are fun team to watch. They compete.
I went on Saturday, and they absolutely laid the lumber to the White Sox.
And that was a huge series win for them because Chicago has, or as our good friend Bill says, Chicago. They have had our number, to say the least. I think up until that series, they only beat them twice in the last 22 games.
Oh yeah.
And so them coming away with a series win really propelled them. Is really good for their confidence and taking 2 of 3. And albeit Texas isn't a very good team, but that's a place they don't normally win. And they take 2 of 3, which goes to show you the development of this team. And
yeah, but let me ask you this: do you think that they are a contender for the playoffs?
No.
Yeah.
No.
The Central, nobody's touching the White Sox.
They're a contender for 500.
No, yeah.
If they can get within a stone's throw of 500, they're at 8 or 7 right now.
But
below,
if you look at the standings, came out since May 2nd or something like that. They're 2 games back they're 2 games back.
Yeah. Well,
so they've been playing some pretty damn good baseball.
And they're only, I think it's 2.5 games behind the leading team is the White Sox. And you know what? I think second place is doable because Cleveland is, they've seemed to have really fallen flat. They've had a lot of injuries and so I think second place in the Central is definitely doable. Playoffs, not likely.
No.
I maybe in a year or two, but I like the direction they're going. The young guys they're bringing up are making things happen.
So did you see today's latest? Spencer Turnbull is extended on the IL. I mean, we can't call it the DL, but we call it the IL. Ian Kroll, they picked up his contract. Ian Kroll,
that's a former, that's a name blast from the past.
Nico Goodrum comes off the IL, and then Daz Cameron goes on the IL.
Yeah, it sounds like Daz is just precautionary. Turnbull, that one a little surprising for me. A forearm strain. It's a long time to be off for a forearm strain, and my guess is they're looking at him long term.
Yeah, they're not,
and they don't want to ruin him.
Yeah.
They've got Scuba, he goes tomorrow. I mean, he has his last 5 and 6 outings have been very productive. It seems like he's in a little bit of a role. And now with what's his name, Peralta, who's had 2 really good outings.
The last 2 outings have been fantastic for him.
I think Peralta's last outing was the deciding factor. Like, hey, let's shut this guy down. Let's get him ready for next year. When who knows, there might be an opportunity.
Yeah, the trading deadline comes up here relatively quick on us. It's only a couple weeks away. Do you think they're going to be buyers or they're going to be sellers? Or do you think they're going to stand put?
I think 2 weeks ago they were going to sell, and they even had it written up on the show notes. We were going to do. I had a whole list of players that more than likely would have been gone, but what I read,
Jonathan Scope, I thought for sure 2 weeks ago, I was like,
Scope,
there's a good chance he's going to be gone.
I mean, he was probably the AL MVP batting in the month of June.
Look at this guy.
Oh, we got
this guy.
We got the boy JP
swinging lumber like him. I want to congratulate him. He's going to be closing on his first house, so
he's going to be a homeowner.
That's
very proud of the Giant.
That's a huge step in the right direction.
Very proud of him.
So kudos to him for busts his ass. Works a ton of hours and good for him. So congratulations to you, JP.
Absolutely.
So
very proud.
Let's get back to the Tigers, but
I read something today that basically said AJ Hinch was like, listen, don't think you're going to come and take from this team. He likes this team
without paying a hefty hefty ransom.
It's gonna come at a cost depending on who you get. But to me, right now, I think they're going to stand pat. I don't see them buying.
Yeah,
they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna add anything.
No, I think the offseason they're gonna try maybe target. They need, Short has been playing okay at short. I mean, no pun intended. But he's your stopgap for the year, and I think next year,
would put him at second. I like him.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him. No, I do too.
I think he's an example of the young guys that they've brought up just to kind of like fill a gap or fill a hole.
Yeah.
And
filling holes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
got his cock clean.
He's producing. And just like Haas.
Yeah. That guy.
You can't sit him down.
No.
He has been nothing but productive. He's handled the pitching staff better than any catcher on this staff.
Inside the park home run on Saturday. I was there.
He's a gamer and he's local and it's really a good story to watch. To see, he's an old school type baseball player. He
just grinds it out.
Yep. He goes to the field every day and he gives it 110%. Reminds me a lot of Curtis Granderson, who, from his rookie year to the last year, I mean, he played the game like he was a kid. So he is somebody that you might be able to build around. And then you have Wilford Brimley. Rogers behind the plate with the
Ron Jeremy stash.
With the mustache.
John Holmes
stash. He's when needed to, he's filled in behind the plate. He's made some big hits.
Yeah, and I think the other day I was reading, I was like, man, I was playing Jake Rogers. I'm like, what happened to Wilson? I didn't know they cut Wilson Ramos. I'm like, wow.
Once Haas came on the scene and there was no way they were setting him down, that was it. Yeah. They showed him his papers and that was the end of that experiment. He couldn't hit or catch. That was not a loss whatsoever.
So since we're talking about baseball, one of the hottest topics right now in baseball is Trevor Bauer. That is one of the Well, and I was at Dave Stewart came out the other day and said he's like, I'm not going. They were supposed to be going to some 40th anniversary thing for the Dodgers and everything like that. And he's like, I'm not going. He's like, the Dodgers waited for Major League Baseball to put him on paid administrative leave.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, that's not how, I mean, regardless of whether it's consensual, whether, what you have to treat it this way. You have to treat the man as if he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But in this day and age, with texting, with photographs, with this, that, it really is some situations you look at. It's like, well, you look at the guy and you're like, he might be guilty. And here's my thing is, if you lay your hands on a woman in the fashion that she has definitely accused him of, and they're investigating him. Well, you know what?
There's the picture on in the back of her. They cover her eyes and whatever, but she looks pretty ravaged. And if you remember, I think it was a year or two ago, he came out and basically said that it's his way or fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is he makes the rules and you're with me and you're going to do as I say, not do as I do. And he is infamous for kind of being an asshole and a misogynist pig. So, you know what? This story, it could come true. What I don't like about it is that it happened twice. I mean, if you get choked out during sex is what the allegation is. Why would you go back for round 2?
Yeah. And then some of the other things, which I'm not going to discuss on the show because it's just that's not the direction we want to go. We just want to say that, you know what? I agree. I agree with Dave Stewart. The Dodgers should have suspended him.
Well, as soon as news broke, they should have took him out of
that. They made him skip a start, and they're like, oh, he's going to start. And then Major League Baseball said, no, he's going to go out and administrate, but he's still getting paid. He's still getting paid. You know, and Dave Stewart even said, he goes, write the man a check and let him go on his way.
Let him walk. I mean, the Dodgers had to have known.
Or as Terry Foster say, let that bitch walk. Let that bitch walk.
The Dodgers had to have known. He was a hothead in Cleveland. He was a basket case. The incident in Cincinnati.
Yep.
When he turned around and he threw the ball into the stands from the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
He's a loose cannon. Hell of a pitcher, but he's somebody that you know what you're getting ahead of time, and the Dodgers knew exactly what they were getting here.
They're like, well, we're getting a hell of a pitcher, and we're going to take our chances on the rest of it afterwards. And
we'll cross that bridge when we have to. And they're in the middle of the bridge right now. And
you know, and my view on this, and I'm sure you agree with me just well. All facts come out, and you know, like right now, my thing is given the guys, you know, just this is the way he handles himself. You're like, yeah, you could probably see he could do that. He would do something like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's pictures, there's text messages, and other things that are in play. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for him, even though he said he can.
The Dodgers need to wash their hands.
Oh, I'd be
right
gone.
now.
I'd be gone
of him. Similar situation to AB, Antonio Bryant.
Yeah.
You know, he was out of football until pretty much. I think he paid some money.
Yeah, but
you know, nobody wanted to touch him until there was a clear indication that his troubles were in the past. Bauer, I mean, if it is true what he said, with the text messages and whatnot, what a fucking idiot.
Oh,
like you said, in this day and age where everything is under the microscope, why would you even think about pressing send on a text message that could?
Didn't he meet her on like Instagram or something like that?
He's a super douche, and I could see him being on Tinder or Bumble or some bullshit like that, meeting girls in different cities. But he's a troublemaker, a hell of a pitcher, but it doesn't hide the fact that he's a piece of shit. And if these allegations are true, you'll never see him pitch again.
Or if you do, it'll be somewhere far, far away.
I don't see any big market team taking a chance on him because there would be too much negative press to go along with it.
Can you imagine what would happen if something he's out? It's kind of, well, just think of it like this way. Look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick had one of the worst perceptions of him after his dog fighting. He served his time. He served his time. He paid, everything like that or whatever.
He paid his debt to society, no question about it.
He paid exactly. And
but he's still looked at.
He still struggled every single year afterwards.
Yeah.
He'd go to a new town.
That cloud over him.
Yeah, it's just a black cloud.
And looking back at Michael Vick, he's donated so much money and time to the humane societies and to fight the one thing that he was guilty of doing, dog fighting.
He owned it. He owned it.
Absolutely.
And
he's a better person now after, I think a lot of people don't realize what they do.
It's about, and a lot of it is you get some of these guys out there and you pay them an exorbitant amount of money.
They're invincible.
They get caught up in a lot of different things.
Sure.
That at the time, let's do this or whatever. Then after the fact, he's probably, man, I'm the dumbest. He's probably, I'm the dumbest motherfucker in the room.
Or you see a lot of athletes can't say goodbye to their
they're boys,
old people.
They're boys, yeah.
Wherever they came from. And
look at it's not just sports, but it's music. Look at what's his name? MC Hammer. MC Hammer he had his whole crew and just kept paying him
$35 million
and he was
gone.
Yeah, and
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and he's making nothing.
Yeah, so it's sad.
So on that note, let's just move on from this.
But back to the Tigers really quick. Do you think their success, and I'll call it a success because I don't think any of us here would have predicted that they would be even in the same area code as of a 500 record. Do you think AJ Hinch is making the difference here?
I think it is a combination of AJ Hinch and who he's brought in.
We lost Chip Hale. Chip Hale just took the job at University of Arizona, but you got George Lombard.
Yeah. And then you got Chris
Fetter, who was the Michigan pitching coach.
You got one of the best minor league hitters.
Chris Fetter is from the Vanderbilt coaching tree, and Vanderbilt is pitcher U. So couldn't have picked a better pitching coach. I mean, young and up and coming, and I agree. He's surrounded himself with successful. I mean, Lombard won a World Series with the Dodgers. So
he's surrounded himself, but I definitely, it even resonates from, from Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, all the way down to my kids' baseball. Mm-hmm. You have to have a coach who is positive.
Yep. And
you have to have a coach that's
been there.
He's experienced the up and downs.
He's been here. He's experienced the downs here.
But you also need a coach who finds a way to relate with his players, to build them up and get the best out of them. And I think that's what AJ Hinch is doing right now this year in Detroit. He's taking, and we don't have showstoppers. No. I mean, even Miguel Cabrera is not a showstopper anymore.
Yeah.
He used to be one of the fiercest hitters in the league. Not so much anymore.
But he is showing promise. I
want him to get the next 6 home runs. I want him to get 500 home runs. I want him to get his next.
Do they sit him?
I want him to get his next. I want to get his next 70. His next 70 hits, so he gets to 3,000.
Yeah.
And I'd like him to say, "Hey, everybody, my Hall of Fame career is done. Thank you, Detroit.
I'm going to Miami.
You guys have a good one." So yeah, I think a lot of it is with AJ Hinch. I think
he's pulling the right strings.
But here's the thing: is he has a lot, just like we're talking about with black clouds. He has a black cloud over his head because he was part of Trash Gate.
But if you look
Trash Can Gate,
Trash Gate,
Garbage Can Gate.
You look at what he was able to do in Houston. He took a team who was very young, homegrown, and within 3 years they won a World Series. I mean, they went from the worst team in baseball to a World Series championship in 2 seasons.
But at the time, but here's the thing: is he walked into that situation because they had a deep, and I mean an absolute deep farm system.
Mm-hmm.
The Tigers have a deep farm system
They
right
do
now.
not. Finally,
After Dave Dombrowski pillaged it,
Yeah.
you know, sold his soul to the devil and got rid of everything.
should have won.
Oh, I know. We should have won at least 2 or 3. Exactly. But yep, I think he is the real.
But you got to admit, I mean, you do what you have to do to A, bring a winner, and B, put asses in the seats. And for 7-8 years, man, that was a hot ticket. Going down to the Copa was must see TV.
And speaking of the Copa, since you brought that up, one of the things we want to talk about is for those who are not in Michigan that watch and listen. Our restrictions got lifted on the 22nd of June.
Thank you.
I went to my first Tiger game on Saturday, and let me tell you something. It was probably I went there and I enjoyed the shit. I was with my kids. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and you can tell that the players on the field enjoyed having fans back in.
Bet.
Ryan, my son is he's like a savant. We go to a hockey game. The kid comes home with 3 pucks. We go to a baseball game. He comes home with 2 baseballs. It's like the kid, he's always screaming. Adam Eaton got a ball from Adam Eaton. He got one from
Brighton, baby.
He got one from Garcia, the one who had an absolute bomb. But yeah, so here's another thing. Since we've been gone, we got some new equipment here. We got some new mics.
Yeah.
So the mics, we got some.
Hopefully, we're sounding a little bit better.
We got some boom,
a little more
mics.
clear.
Yeah.
And,
so yeah, we got.
They
some
look better than the old ones. The old ones did their job.
Oh no, they
served their purpose.
I just got an absolute unbelievable deal on these, and I thank the guy very much. So I mean,
hey,
Barry. Bobby. Yeah. So the Pistons, mother scratcher.
Yeah.
This is like the first time we've had the first pick overall since like 1970.
It was Bob Lanier.
Yeah,
it was Bob Lanier.
That was in what?
51 years ago.
Yeah.
Why do I know that?
Because you're old.
Yeah, you're right.
It was before I was born.
Yeah. Well, it was before I was born too.
You're closer though. But yeah, so
talk about a young team.
Yep.
Who
Troy Weaver's done it unbelievable. I mean, I honestly think in the next couple of years, I think the 2 teams I can probably, and I'm not a gambling person, so a gentleman's bet or something like that. If you want to take any of the other teams in Detroit, I think it's going to be the Pistons or the Red Wings that are going to be competing for a championship in the next 5 years.
I think it's safe to say they're all very young, and their ceiling is very high. And they have potential. But with Troy Weaver, he went in here with a front loader and he just started axing people.
Just unloaded. Unloaded.
You're gone. Bye. Get the fuck out. You're gone. Just get him off my books.
But let me ask this question. So do you think so every time Tom Gores comes into town,
T-shirt time.
Do you think he just takes them and gags them and puts them in a coat closet the entire time he's here so he doesn't fuck anything up?
He takes them down to Greektown and in the alley and throws a bag of cocaine, and he just buries himself in it for 2 days while he goes and makes the moves that this team's needed for the last 5 years. Well, they need to get rid of him. They need to get Gores away from this team, and as much as I am not a big fan of Matt Ishbia, I would like to see his fandom of basketball come into play here. And I know he's got a nut against his boy
Dan Gilbert.
Oh yeah. So I'd like to see him jump into the mix in the Detroit sports game, which there might be an opportunity for that, but. Troy Weaver, the question I had, is he the best GM in the city, in this town right now, with the moves that he's made and his fearless attitude? Like, yeah, I know
It's early. It's early, but here's the thing: is relatively new. We have 3 relatively new, GMs.
Yeah.
We got Brad Holmes, we have Iserman, and we got Troy.
You still got Avila
But,
in
but
Detroit, which he's got to go. But
you know what? But he's. I'm just glad that I'm glad that they built the farm system up because they do have some really good. They do have some farm stuff like that. I think out of the 3 mentioned so far, the one I'm most impressed with is obviously Troy Weaver, and I'm not a basketball guy at all.
No, you're not. And
I'm not.
I was writing the show today, and I got two basketball topics scheduled. But look at his draft last year.
Yeah.
What he was able to do, he's got two all rookies, and he's got one that was second team all rookie, and it just and now you've got the number 1 pick, who clearly it's Cade Cunningham, who you could build the team off of. He's a dynamic number 2 with Killian Hayes. If you, I'd like to have him sit down with Chauncey Billups for about a weekend. And here, this is how you play the point guard position. You're the floor general.
Yeah, but Chauncey's not going to talk to anybody now.
He's in Portland now, but
he's not going to talk to anybody now.
Watch Chauncey Billups game tape. He'll show you how to play the point guard position.
Yeah.
When you need to shoot, you shoot. When you don't, you direct traffic. And when you have a player like Cunningham, who I think he's going to be, night number 1, he's going to be starting, and he's going to be effective because that's just the type of player he is.
He's a very dynamic.
Absolutely.
He's a very dynamic player. He definitely moves the ball up and down the court.
They're going to make each other better. I mean,
he's putting the pieces around, and
it's exciting.
It is.
It's really exciting to watch. They got Jeremy Grant.
I might even go to a game. That's a stretch.
Go see what's his name down there, the announcer. Ah, damn it.
Mason. I hate Mason. I hate Mason. The only thing I liked of Mason is when he did the last time that Kobe was in Detroit.
Oh yeah.
I thought that he really did Kobe justice on that. We've played it on here before.
That was good.
Other than that, I can't. I just can't.
It's an old bit, but I mean, how do you move on? They've had some great, it was Kenny Calvert.
Yeah.
Kenny Calvert with the Joe Mars call. There's only been 2 of them in the last 30 years.
Yeah. But Mason's there. He pumps people up.
Yeah.
So that's what he's there for.
He's good. He represents the city, and I think that's good for the team. So I like the direction they're going as well, and with the number 1 pick, I think the toughest thing is going to be. I saw something today that the Pelicans were coming after the Pistons for to get the pick, but man, it would cost them an arm and a leg to give up that pick.
You'd have to give the farm up for that.
You can't let a situation like that go.
But the Pelicans have
they got Zion.
Yeah, that's gonna say they got Zion.
They got Zion, and
I tell you right now, if you can't build a team around that guy,
something tells me Zion's a bit of a head case.
You think so?
I think he's a prima donna. Because I don't know. I could be wrong.
There's a lot of them like
he's
that,
an unbelievable basketball player, but I don't know. We'll see.
But I tell you, but if you talk to our boys at the OC, they'll say his card is on fire.
Well, shout out to the OC.
The OC, and the OC is coming up. I think next week they're going to be back on.
I'm sure their fans are jumping at the bit.
Well, I think they'll be on for 1 week, and then I think they're going to be off another week because Coach Pat's going to be in Cooperstown.
Oh yeah.
So he'll be in Cooperstown.
Yep.
So on the other basketball front, the big man.
Yeah.
He said he said I'm going to go to the draft, and he's like, yeah, I think I should stay back another year. And so everybody's saying that. Everybody on the Twitterverse, and being from Michigan, a lot of our Twitter followers are fans of the maize and blue.
Sure.
They're like, oh, all right, we're going to compete for a national championship this year.
Well, I don't think there's any question. They're going to be top 5.
Yes.
With the draft class they do have coming in, and the pieces that they
draft
still
class,
have.
Recruiting class.
I'm sorry.
Remember, we can't draft. Hey, but you know what though? A lot of them get paid on their likeness now, so it's a draft.
Which comes into my next point. Are you going to start seeing more and more upper echelon college athletes sticking around a little longer because they can profit off of their name.
Yeah, by all means.
And I believe this went into the decision making for Hunter Dickinson. I think he kind of threw his hat in the mix to see, all right, where am I going to go? And if it was outside the 10 to 15 range, I'll wait. Now, that's what Wagner should have done. I mean, but his draft prospects, I've seen as high as 5, 7.
Really?
I don't see it.
I don't either.
He's his brother 2.0.
His
he's
brother,
very immature.
His brother just took off to Europe to play.
Yep, because he played on like 15 teams this last season.
Yeah,
but
he took off to go play overseas.
He doesn't have the size yet. I think he's got the potential to be a hell of a defender, shooter. I think he's got lots of skills that another year in the college game would have really benefited him. But I think Dickinson is you're going to see the reason why Wagner should have stayed. You're going to see Dickinson really benefit from another year. Maturity, number one, under Juwan Howard, I almost called him Desmond. Which going into the NBA, I think maturity is huge because you're faced with a lot of temptation.
Yeah.
And
we just talked about, hanging out with your boys.
Oh, absolutely. And
well, I mean, you think about this, Wagner lived in Ann Arbor in a house his brother bought for him.
Yeah. Why leave? But then again, if they're telling you that, and where do they got him projected? Going to Golden State.
You know what?
Going to Golden State.
Yeah.
They love Michigan players at Golden State. But,
that's my brother's. Yeah, my brother. You're right. Yeah, he's playing for the German national team. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
In the Olympics. So yeah, he's definitely gonna be doing that. Derek, thanks for watching.
Well, yeah.
Good to see you chiming in a little bit instead of just being a spectator. But I mean, I'm excited for Michigan basketball. And again, I'm more of a college basketball guy than I am a pro, but I am all
for the pride.
I'm all for the collegiate athletes not living in poverty while they're playing basketball, while the NCAA is actually making money hand over fist.
Oh, it's
fuck what anybody says. Well, they're getting a scholarship. Yeah, they're getting a scholarship.
Scholarship's not going to put food in their stomach.
I've
watched the Fab Five. Listen to Jalen Rose talk about how ramen noodles was like a delicacy to them because they didn't have anything.
Well, do you remember seeing the meals that they had for when they put them in quarantine this past year? It was terrible. I wouldn't feed that to my dog.
No, it was like the worst school lunch you've ever had.
Oh,
it was terrible.
I'd be honest with you. I think the school lunches are better than what it was.
They may have been.
But yeah, so paying their money. So that's what I'm saying. So.
Yep. And I think college, the NCAA as a whole will benefit from it because they're going to get players that might say, "Hey, I'm going to leave after my sophomore season. I'm going to stick around for another year."
Yeah.
And I think the sport will benefit. And number two, the pro leagues, especially the NBA, which is very watered down, and a lot of kids that think they can make it in the pros, they never do. I think it'll help with that. So they're going into the league with some more maturity and a little more skill set. It's gonna benefit both ends.
Well, I think I honestly think by the NCAA allowing players to get paid, these guys who are like coming from high school, they're like, should I go to the G League? Wow. You're going to come to find out that you'll probably make more money for your likeness in college than you are going to be.
You might.
Than you are going to be making.
I mean, there's two guys in the top 10 projected draft that are coming out of the G League, and I don't know. Well, there's that one kid. He is I think he's a Miami or something. He's a running back recruit. He's already committed, and he pulled out of his senior season.
Wow.
God, what school? I forget what school he goes to. But he's not. He pulled out of high school completely. He's going to do like online school, and he's not going to play his senior year in high school because he doesn't want to injure himself. going into college. So he's going to prepare himself for college. He's going to take a year off. But to me,
so if I was a coach and I was a coach and recruiter,
where's your dedication?
Exactly. So are you going to do the same thing when it's your sophomore year and you had a pretty solid, or your freshman year, you had a hell of a freshman year? You're going to be like, well, I can't go to the draft. I'll just sit out a year and then get ready for the draft.
Yeah, I think
that's horseshit.
I think they're setting a bad precedent, and I don't think too many kids will follow that suit. But
yeah, I don't buy it, but whatever. But I'm glad to see that they're making money and everything like that. And
sure.
So one of the other big sports that's going on right now, I mean, the Stanley Cup Finals,
Game 5.
Game 5
going on right now.
Oh yeah. It was definitely fun watching the last game. I actually stayed up to watch it. Anderson with that goal.
Oh, good for those fans. See all those people outside. Okay, so what did they release the restriction? What did they allow? Like 7,500 fans, if that.
Yeah. And they got 30,000 crammed nuts to butt outside.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. But so awesome to see for those Canadian fans that they got one win, which is great.
But hey, here's the thing: is they don't have to be. They will not be known as the team that the last team that got swept in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Which, by the way, the Red Wings own that because they did sweep the Capitals in '98.
Oh, yes.
So that was the last Stanley Cup sweep,
and that was the back-to-back,
97, 98,
which there could be another back-to-back, which it was the last back-to-back, wasn't it?
I believe so.
No. Didn't they win it? The Red Wings are the last team to go back-to-back.
Are you sure?
I believe
it wasn't
so.
Pittsburgh, was it?
No.
Oh, no, Pittsburgh won, lost, and won again. Yeah. Well, it could be.
So I think it was the Red Wings were the last team to go back-to-back, and now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We were talking about GMs and everything like that. Look at how well Yzerman laid the foundation for them. I mean, granted, I'm sure he had some help, but
sure,
goddamn,
he brought in. I mean, if you look at that team, brought in a lot of Russians.
Yeah,
he brought in a lot of guys, European players, and he used the skill sets that he played alongside with, and that's kind of the model that he used. But they're definitely the better team. They went into Montreal and put the wood to them.
Well, let me tell you, the reason why they're the better team,
their goalie.
No, this is the reason why they're the better team. They're fucking $20 million over the salary cap.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah, they're kind of they're playing dirty pool.
Let me tell you, you cannot allow a team to be 20 million over a cap in the playoffs because they had their best player sit out the entire season.
And was that to prep them for the playoffs?
Who knows? Yeah. But I mean, he's fucking tearing it up in the playoffs. Well, let's
just say his first game, did he not score a hat trick or two games?
Yeah.
His first game after missing the entire season.
Yeah. That's bullshit. The league needs to look at it. They need to change it. That's happened twice in the last, I'd say 10 or 15 years, because the Blackhawks did the same thing with Patrick Kane. Bullshit. Mm-hmm. Every team should maintain a salary cap through the entire, because I will tell you right now, if that was the case, it would be a way different. It'd be a whole different landscape.
Take Kucherov off the team right now.
No, they can play Kucherov, but you gotta shed down. You got to shed down $20 million to get under the cap.
And there's guys under the radar like Coleman and Goodrow and
those guys have been playing good.
Braden Point, who, I mean, let's face it.
No, they're stacked.
Next to Vasilevsky, Braden Point's probably your con. Your con.
Yeah. Oh, he's your con for sure.
Because I mean, he went 9 games in a row.
Yeah,
with a goal. Yep. I mean, second all time, and
yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's a third and fourth line grinder.
But I'll tell you right now, hats off to the Canadians for winning Game 4 in spectacular fashion.
And you go back to Game 5 in the first round against #1967 bitch, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
Shout out to Sean. They looked absolutely defeated.
Yeah.
But then since that next game, it completely different team. They have confidence. They've got veteran leadership with Perry and Shea Weber and Carey Price decided to be Carey Price decided to be all world goalie again. And it's good. I mean, it's good for hockey to have a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it's great. It's great for the sport. It's great for their country, and it's it's unfortunate that the series might come to an end tonight. But you know what? They've battled. They've been out shooting Tampa Bay in almost every game. So I mean, they're not laying down. That's for sure. They're going and competing every game, and if they can squeeze out one game, the old adage, one game at a time, they can win tonight, go back home. You never know what could happen. That's the exciting thing with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it's almost like football, almost like any given Sunday. But when the playoffs, all bets are off.
One crazy bounce,
absolutely, all bets are off.
Just go back to that overtime. The game, bounced off the wall, and that Anderson off balance. Just
he pretty much dove and swung the stick at
the last possible opportunity. He's shot the puck, and there it went. Yeah. That's game. Now we're getting on a plane and we're flying home. But did you hear that the mayor of Tampa took to Twitter and he said, let the Canadian fans have one win. Let's bring it home and win it here.
Well, did you hear that the Canadian government, they asked if their families could come in, and they said nah.
Oh no, yeah, they kept showing.
They're like, nah.
They showed their wives because they're all their wives and everything were all in Tampa, Emily, and I think that's kind of bush league, but whatever.
It's Canada.
Yeah,
it's Canada.
It's Canada, and
blame Canada. What would Brian Boitano do? As South Park would say,
blame Canada.
Yeah. So I'm not even going to talk about the NBA Finals right now.
Maybe
next week.
One quick thing about the NBA Finals. I'm so glad it's two small market teams, the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Two teams that nobody at the start of the year even farted on to think that they were going to make outside of Giannis. Not a chance.
Yeah.
So I think that's an indication that the super team might be on its way out, which to me has destroyed the NBA.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
You have a lot of teams that are building. They're building and they're making smart decisions with the players they bring in and the coaches. And this is old school basketball. It reminds me of the Pistons Spurs, the last time the NBA was good. Moving on.
But one of the, we're going to bounce around just a little bit because we're going to be running up close to the time limit for us that we want to go. But one of the things I do want to talk about is if anybody on here has the Detroit News app on their phone, delete it. Absolutely fucking delete it. Because last weekend, Rocket Mortgage Classic.
Oh,
Phil Mickelson comes into town. And for good reason. He's like, look, I'm going to come in.
A huge U.S. Open win.
Yeah.
Or Masters or whatever.
U.S. Open. Open. I'm going to come to Detroit. It's great. They're doing great things here. I'm going to try to raise some capital, charity, investments for them. Hopefully it parlays over into my fund and everything like that. And this fucking bozo from the news puts out an article the same weekend that he's in town, a fucking smear thing about
the first day
about him gambling
20 years ago.
Oh, well, he was in a deposition or something like that, or he was in.
Who cares?
It was 20 fucking years ago. Hey, my personal opinion, who gives a shit? Yeah. Because you can go right down to Greektown and put whatever money you want to put on whoever. Mm-hmm. Or you can go to any sports book and do it.
Hey,
what a fucking
you go right
job.
Here,
yeah,
and bet anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're a pro or not.
What a fucking smear job that was.
Now, what did the Detroit News get some backlash from that? Did they shit can this idiot guy?
He's probably still around. He's one of them fucking slime ball investigative reporters I'm not saying right now, you had to dig real deep to find this because they fucking spelled his last name wrong in the deposition.
What was the purpose? Like, what did he have to gain to bring in,
Clicks.
Clearly,
It's all clicks.
Clearly, Mickelson being there was a huge draw because all weekend it was
everybody wanted to see Phil.
It was packed to the gills at Belle Isle, or I mean not Belle Isle, at the Detroit Golf Club or wherever they played. So clearly people wanted to see him play.
Yeah.
DeChambeau and the other couple that are big names in golf.
But it's like you release an article like that, like the day or two after he gets there, and everybody's like, "Oh, Phil's being a bitch for not wanting to come back." You know what?
He's not.
You know what? Fuck you.
If that's the way they're going to treat
exactly.
him here, I don't disagree with it at all.
So, and I'll end on this right now. I know he won't even listen to this show, but Phil Mickelson, please come back to Detroit. That's the first and foremost. The second thing is we need Phil Mickelson more than Phil Mickelson needs Detroit.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to, I mean, we always were on the golf scene when, they had the, what was it, the Davis Cup?
Yeah.
They, played in Bloomfield there, down Telegraph. They had that there. And it, ever since then, there was no tournament here until
it was Oakland Hills.
Oakland Hills, yeah. So, and then there was a lot of years where we didn't have golf tournament. I mean, this state is known for golf.
Yeah.
And there's not a PGA or a senior LPGA tour, but not much of a draw, which, unfortunately, but to big golfers, the PGA needs to be in Detroit. Yeah. And I think it's a great thing that they have a big time tournament in the city. And you go ahead and you make a bonehead story and you pretty much push the top 5 name in golf right now to say, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. It's definitely,
and for the record, I do not have that app.
I don't have it either. No. I don't have that or the Freep.
No, me neither.
There's only one person I'll follow on the Freep, and it's Burkett. That's it. I won't follow anybody else.
Absolutely.
But Burkett. But anyway, so UFC 164 this weekend.
That would be 260.
Oh, 267. 167.
264.
264. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. They're all the way over here.
Yeah, they'll be right there. 264.
Well, maybe
talking about me being old.
Maybe that time's. You wear glasses already. I don't. But that's coming up. Whatever the trilogy between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. I honestly think if McGregor loses, I think he's going to hang him up.
It's time. To me, if the last fight's any indication, it might go faster this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been the second fight or whatever. It was very respectful, back and forth, everything like that, and fucking got his ass whipped. And then,
I think
the first one
he was respectful to a point, and then he started talking his shit.
He was more respectful than he normally is.
Yeah, because I think he saw how hard Poirier has trained, and just looking at him from the first fight to the second fight, that's a different human being.
Oh,
and
his game is definitely evolved a lot.
Oh, absolutely,
a lot.
So if Conor can shut his mouth first off, and to the lead up, which I don't know if he can, he's got a chance. I mean, look what he did against Cowboy 2 or 3 fights ago. I mean, he was coming off a bad loss, and I don't think anybody gave him much of a chance. That fight lasted 40 seconds.
Oh, between him and Cowboy?
Yeah, because he came in and he put the naysayers to bed, and I don't hear that.
Yeah, but wasn't it like Cowboy's like 4th fight in like 6 months?
He was a fighting horde, no doubt about it. And I think he's only fought once after that, but But I haven't heard a whole lot of, he doesn't have a chance or he's going to kick his ass. I haven't really heard that. It's been pretty radio silent from both camps. Poirier is quiet to begin with. He's not going to run his mouth. But I think now that Conor was the #1 paid athlete of 2020,
Yeah. Well, you know what, the guy's done pretty well for himself.
Well, he just sold his
proper 12.
Yeah, proper number 12. He just sold that, but
he's probably still a spokesman for
I'm sure he gets some kind of royalties and he'll do the commercials and all that. So even if he wins, I could see him maybe stepping down, but I think he's had his run, and then you look at who's on the undercard.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley is probably one of the most exciting fighters to watch. I mean, not only with his hairstyles and his colors.
His fighting style. He's a very tall, lanky guy. He's got hell of reach.
You look at him and you think he should be in the streets of L.A. Rapping beside Snoop Dogg.
He does look like Snoop Dogg
not in the ring, and he's from like Wyoming, which is another thing. Very interesting Instagram follow. Likes to smoke the marijuana.
Smoke the marijuana.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good follow, pretty entertaining. But this fight, if it goes more than a minute, I'd be shocked. He's favored minus 800.
Wow.
The guy he's fighting doesn't even have a picture.
Oh, didn't somebody have to back out?
Probably, yeah. But I seen the card today, and it was like someone just created a Facebook profile, so it just says like the OC's issue that they have with the Facebook user.
Yeah.
That's the picture that he's fighting, but it should be a good fight. I mean, even the prelims are looking pretty good, and it'll be in Vegas where they're going to have fans. I would assume they're going to have fans. That was fun to watch when they were in Jacksonville, when they had a crowded house. Just, you realize how much you missed that crowd noise after a big punch.
I really missed that.
Just the big punch and hearing the crowd.
I missed that big slap of the glove on a head or something, or
the one good thing,
kick to the thigh. I missed that.
The one good thing with no fans, when there was a connection made,
everybody, you felt it.
You felt it. Whereas when there's a crowd, when there's a connection made, you can hear that roar of the crowd, which is always fun.
So on the last note here, before we call it a close, I do want to say Trevor Lawrence signed his rookie deal, 5 years, $36.8 million. That is not a lot of money for a number one pick.
I read that it was, oh gosh, what was his name? It was Sam. He was from Oklahoma. He's not in the league anymore.
Yeah,
he was the
Sam
number
Bradford.
one. Sam Bradford, when he signed his rookie deal, was like $65 million or something like that. And then I think he was one of the last years that they actually said, we need to put a cap on these rookie deals, because Bradford just never amounted to anything in the NFL.
But he ended up going and playing for Minnesota and got paid in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to the Rams.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but yeah, I mean, 38 million, 25 of it was guaranteed with a signing bonus. He's got a 5th-year option. He's going to make,
he'll make
5
more money
times
in
endorsements. Yeah. I mean,
the guy can probably go sell shampoo with that.
That's
hair.
what I was to say. He's going to have cleats. He's going to have, his own sportswear.
He's
going to have his own.
He'll probably have his own Suave.
Yep. He's going to have his own hair care products and coming to your nearest Sola Salon suite.
There you go.
Is Trevor, the new Brazilian blowout straightener.
The fact that you know all that shit.
Remember, I was married to a hairstylist, unfortunately, and
I hear you.
So, but yeah, at 38 million, it'll be in the 100 million range before you know it.
Well, cool. Yeah, we're up against it. But I do want to say I'm happy to be back. I'm glad to be back.
Yes. It's definitely fun being behind the mic and being able to
Is that the dog that Clyde goes after all the time?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay.
This might be a new one walking by. I don't know. I've never seen that one. But it is definitely fun sitting in here and talking sports and shooting the shit and seeing everybody chiming in. Jay Green, I see he's in there. So thank you guys for watching, and whoever chimes in here, on the rebroadcast when we post it. We
Yeah.
do appreciate it and look forward to doing the next one.
Yeah, hopefully next week we'll work on something. And it kind of sucks this weekend. We were asked to come out to Sandwich Palooza again, but like I said, I'm gonna be out and about. However, I think because it's 11 o'clock. That's an hour drive. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, for a 3 and a 5 o'clock game.
Yeah,
on
I've seen
Saturday.
Jay Ralph.
He was
throw
really
the hat in the mix. We missed the last one too.
Yeah,
but we'll get into that. We need to have him out to the show for sure.
I got a note from Hesterman
Uh-oh.
here. It says, "I have a great face for radio." Thanks, John. I appreciate that. You really know how to tug the old heartstrings.
I forgot to tell you, I ran into old Hesty.
I mean, how the fuck could you not miss him?
Walking out of the bushes. I seen looked like Manute Bowl was about to walk in. I'm like, oh shit, I think I hit his chest with my head. I'm like, oh, the beanpole.
Was he going to pick up a 30-pack of hams?
It probably was on his shopping list.
Yeah, 30-pack of ham.
He was getting his barbecue essentials.
He was making the Hesty burgers, which is like 2 patties, bacon, something else, a bratwurst, cheese. I mean, it definitely raises your points on the cholesterol scale.
My heart just palpitated.
So anyway, on that note, everybody, I want you guys to have a great weekend. Be
Yep.
safe, be well, stay away from fireworks and everything like that. And we'll chat with you later.
Peace out.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330. You can catch us every week at ilogicmedia.com, Apple, and Spotify. Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Easy Speak Cast for the latest and up-to-date news. Cheers.